Jai Jinendra. Welcome to Purvesh.
Jai
Purvesh, we are
Jinendra,
really
ma'am.
proud of you. Extremely happy and proud of you. On behalf of KVO Sanakwasi Mahajan Sanchalit Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji Kanya Keroni Fund, I welcome all the panelists as well as our very eminent speaker for today, Purvesh, who is a very unique personality. And of course, I will be giving his details a little later. But before we go on to the introduction to Purvesh, I would just like to introduce Matushri Manibai. Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji Kanya Keroni Fund is an organization of the KVO community, which was instituted 53 years back. Uh, Definitely, it must have been a great vision to educate women, and women play a very important role, as all of us know, not only in the family but also the society. Rather, I would say that they are the architects of any society. So, it is a great vision of the past that the then trustees of the Mahajan, as well as the the founder members of this organization, along with the donor family, instituted this organization. What are the activities that it conducts? What are the objectives that it tries to reach? Basically, the objective is to see to it that no girl child in the KBO community is devoid of an education, especially the higher education. And this is a very, very important aspect. It gives interest free loans because all of us know finance is a very, very important aspect in anybody's life, especially in the field of education. So it tries to fulfill the need of finances for the girls, especially for higher education after their 10th school education. It also looks into career counseling, guides them to a correct career, what would be optimum for them, looking into their interests, their aptitude, and taking many, many factors into consideration. We have a gamut of experts who come and guide the students through careers as well as also give them hands-on experience in profession through various activities, through meet the professional, also offer them hands-on experience through internships and job placement. There are many of our alumni who are also helping the younger students for job placements. So it does a lot of other things. Besides that, it's also directly involved with education. The kind of education it supports is soft skill training. And along with the soft skill training, especially in this pandemic, because everybody was restricted to the home, there were sessions like on a series of episodes which were conducted on digital marketing. We had the business email, LinkedIn. We did have the Lakshya, that is the it's a mini management program. We also had a session on e-commerce, languages like Mandarin, French, which are very important international languages, and also Sanskrit, a very important Indian language. We also had sessions on app development and coding for young children. We had sessions on financial literacy for women, especially, but of course, many men also have taken advantage of most of these sessions. Good parenting was also very important, especially not only during lockdown, but even otherwise. The family composition and the emotional well-being of any family is very important, and that depends on the parenting and the parenthood processes that go on. So we did have experts also delivering sessions on that. The list is long. There were many such sessions which went on. Just to mention also three very important projects that this organization nurtures. One is the BCSMA, it's a very, you can say, a very prestigious award for the community. Is Bhartiben Chimanlal Shivji Merit Award, instituted by the donor family. And this is to identify the, you can say, the excellence of the students amongst the KVU. So after achieving their milestones of 10th, 12th, grad, postgrad, or even super specializations or postdoctorate or doctorate, they can apply for this scholarship. And it's an extremely prestigious because it not only gives them awards based on their merit, their academic merits, but also looks at their co-curricular and other achievements. And these other achievements that they are looked into are their team building skills, their leadership quality, how they perform even individually, how do they meet up their own challenges, their own aptitude, their interest. And all this is done after proper training through workshops. So students also get an exposure to group discussions, group activities, personal interviews, writing skills, uh, attending the online aptitude tests and all that. Also how to face interviews. They learn a lot of skills through this entire process of selection. Besides that, we have two other important, that is the Srimati Kalaben Mahendrabhai Cheda Prince Parivar, who has instituted an award for excellence for those students who have secured admission in very, very meritorious institutes and universities in India and abroad. We are very happy about that. The students are not only awarded at the time of admission, but even after that, during the course of their education. The third very prestigious award is the Srimati Premilaben Mahendra Lakshmichand Kumarji Nanji Kenya Parivar, who has instituted this award. This is you can say it's a loan scholarship, and it is instituted, basically it's an interest-free loan given to the students. So we are very happy to say that these projects have also supported students in different ways. And I would just like to add over here that the Saturday and Sunday program, Saturday is tips from toppers and tips from champions. And on Sunday, we do have Apna Time Aayega. Right now on Saturday, we've been covering the domestic children in the afternoon and the ones who have the KVO children who have gone international in the evening. And on Sunday is the Apna Time Aayega, which is for entrepreneurship, startup ideas, design thinking, and so on. We just started, you can say, while we are thinking and you can say brainstorming, this was one of the very important suggestion that we thought that it's very, very important to also highlight the achievements of our own KVO people in the different walks of life and who have achieved so much at a national level and who have contributed. I would not say achieved, but they have actually contributed at a national level. So last time we had Sangeeta Rajesh Lala, who has worked a lot on fostering, and fostering babies is not so easy. At her age of 50 plus, also they're doing they're almost 60, 55, and they're doing a fantastic job. I would like to suggest to all of you all that all these activities and events that I mentioned are available on YouTube channel MMSD KKF. So please view them. And today we have a very important person. Just a second. We are very happy to welcome and introduce Captain Purvesh Daksha Visanji Gada from village Vinjan, who lives in Mulund. He has worked so much for himself and for the nation. To begin with, he was an ex-serviceman from the Indian Armed Forces who has served in 27th Battalion, the Madras Regiment. We are very happy to welcome Captain Purvesh. He is a seasoned soldier with experience in operating in counter-insurgency and high-altitude areas. And of course, the list is long. He is going to, I'm sure, share it in all his presentation. Currently, he's still studying and still pursuing his master's in economics, disaster management. And I'm sure he wants to work in that area. He also is you can say, a great writer on security matters in various industry magazines. So with these few words, I'm sure the army introduction, he will be doing it himself. With these few words, I will open the discussion. And Purvesh, before welcoming you, I would just like to say that I think we hardly have any KVOs in the armed forces. We can definitely count them on our fingers. And especially for our generation, we just remember, we just know about very, very few. Maybe if you are aware, you can highlight those also if you are aware. There would be some of them in the Navy, some of them in the Air Force and some in the armed, but very, very few. So we do have our dear Jankna, who's currently into the armed forces, and she's fighting for the nation, protecting the nation in her own way. Being a woman, she's doing a great job to the nation. It's very difficult to get her because she's in service, and it's very difficult to find her and get her onto to talking to the people. But it's so nice to have you because you have a vast experience into the army. You've completed your term there, and currently you are already doing so many other things. I know that you have set up an NGO, you're working for the society in different way. So I will not be giving that introduction. I would leave that to you. My questions are very simple. My question is, how did you get into the armed forces? What motivated you? What was the process? Did you have to give some exams? Did you have to pass some entrances? Uh, and once you were there, what was the life there? Do you recommend that for the KVO youth, for the women and for the men? And what are the benefits that you have got by being and serving in the armed forces, besides the great satisfaction that you have that you are serving the nation? What are the other benefits that you have got? So, and what is your life after that? After the 5 years, what's your life then? So I've put so many questions together to you, and as I've requested you to make a presentation also, because it will be easy for us to see the pictures and relate to what you've done. And we would like to see you in the in the uniform of the in the armed force. So it would be nice to see those pictures also, and nice to hear you. I know that you are a very good orator also, and I'm sure you're going to take the audience through very interestingly. So welcome to all the participants also on YouTube now, and whoever will be logging in later. Welcome to you, Purvesh, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity that you have given me to be here and speak about the armed forces. I always find it nice when we talk about the armed forces, especially the KVO, because this is one field where how much ever we talk is less. This is one field where we are, typically we are doing really well in terms of whoever has joined. So there is no reason why we should not be going in there. So I like always appreciate when people want to know about it or want to talk about, because this is a lifestyle. This is not a profession. This is a lifestyle. And whoever is interested in this kind of a lifestyle will really enjoy this. I mean, this is a different phase in your life that you will go through for 20-25 years and come out with a different person altogether. If you are a short service, at least you will get 10 years of experience with the armed forces. So yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Again, what I will do is I have made a kind of a small journey of mine, and this is the intention being that I didn't know. Okay, till the time I had joined the forces, I didn't know much about the armed forces, and somebody going to the officer level and understanding what cadre is that and how do people work there and all was relatively unknown to me. I had done my NCC, so I knew a bit. But now that I look back and I think if there was something like this, what you're organizing at that point in time, I'm sure I would have really benefited there, as well as a lot more people like me would have benefited if this was there probably 20 years back.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. So, ma'am, I'll share this.
Please.
Yes. Are you able to see the screen, ma'am?
Just a minute. Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. I'll just take you through the journey of what is the life in armed forces, and what do you get out of it. It's just a glimpse. Actually, if you talk to any armed forces guy, he will have at least 200 incidents which he can narrate. Anyone. So what I have done is I have tried to condense it into one small presentation. I'll probably take you through that. Starting from before the armed forces, during the serving period in the armed forces, and post the tenure in armed forces, how does it go? And I'll take my example because I have been through that. So before I go into that, I just want to set a context for the people who are watching this, is that what is the difference when we say that this is a lifestyle? Being in the armed forces is a lifestyle. How is it different from being, like what I do? Before the COVID period, of course, I used to every day wake up and go to the office in the morning, take a train or take a cab, go to the office, work there for 8-10 hours, come back, do my own stuff for some time, watch some television, read some books, and then go to sleep. Now, this is a typical routine. Weekends we would go some places here and there, but that would be a typical routine that we all follow. We will be very social during the weekends, and the new generation would always resonate with it when I say that the weekdays are really hectic, and we will not find any time for doing any other thing other than being at home or at job. Now, the difference is what I will take you through here, and I will introduce one army operation to you, how it goes. And this is, I have just, for the sake of it, I have named it as Operation Confidential. It is a typical operation that would be done in the northeastern jungles. I have taken an example of Manipur. And I've taken this year around 2004, 2005, because at that point of time, Manipur was infested with militants. Now it is relatively under control with a lot of Assam Rifle battalions coming in. So let us take the example when it was 2004, 2005, how a typical operation would happen there and how the intel would come in and how the battalions posted there would operate. So setting the context, if you see, this is the map of Manipur, and half of the Manipur, if you see, is protruding into Myanmar, half of it. And the major portions of Chande, Ukhrul, Imphal, these are the major districts. Churachandpur is to a certain extent. All these are protruding into the Myanmar. So the militants there, we call them as UGs, which is underground cadre. So insurgents is the right word for them. Insurgents or the underground cadre would operate around here. And the pointer that I'm showing, this place about Chandel was partially controlled by the government and the armed forces. And this area was called the liberated zone. It's the Chandel forests. And some part of Churachandpur was also liberated because the militants used to roam around freely. They had their own operating bases, administrative bases, training bases around here. And they would also have something in Myanmar. We really don't know in that area. But for sure, we know that there was a lot of movement happening around here. And anyone who knows the insurgency in Northeast, unlike what we see in cross-border terrorism, this has a lot of factions in it. So there will be something called an NSCN-IM, NSCN-K, UKLF, UNLF, maybe around 30 or 35 factions operating in the Northeast entirely. And in Manipur itself, there will be at least 20, 25 factions operating. Everyone would have their own training bases, their administrative bases, and things like that. So with this as a context, I just wanted to take you through how would infantry battalion prepare for the operations. All operations are done majorly around the intel. When we know that there is some base, there is some movement of militants or insurgents in that area. These are all valleys. Actually, it's a jungle terrain. So there are mountains and there are small valleys, small mountains. It's a hilly region basically. It's not mountains. It's a hilly region. So the basic preparations would start long time prior to the core operations. And the battalions would prepare for jungle environment acclimatization, camouflage concealment. And I'll show you some camouflage concealments, which will be really nice to see. People are very good in tracking, navigation. So there are trainings that are conducted in tracking, in navigations, in jungles, even before we go into. So there are mock drills that are done to understand what is navigation during daytime, during nighttime, navigation through stars. Then there is firing. A lot of training is done on firing because that's the core thing that would help us during the major ops. tactics and physical conditioning. So physical conditioning is the peak. I mean, this somebody who's not physically conditioned would surely not go in for operations, because all the operations would be around at least starting with 2 days to 4 days, 6 days, depending on where the base is. So just to set another context, there are a lot of operations that happen in the Indian Army. That can be a raid operation, it can be a search and destroy operation, it can be a cordon and search operation. So and the terrains can be various. It can be in jungles, it can be desert operations, it can be high altitude operations, a lot of, and each of these operations would have their own tactical nuances that everyone has to know. So I am just, for the sake of setting the context, I am just saying that we are doing this run through for a Manipur jungle ops. The same jungle in Assam, the tactics would differ, and the same jungle in maybe Kashmir, the tactic will differ. So this is so at the beginning of the operation, I just wanted to indicate this. Generally, all the movements happen during night time, but if you see the screen, you will be able to see a few soldiers. Some of them are prominently highlighted, which we can see here. This is not a this is the actual operation movements will always happen in the night time. But just to show you the scene here, there are a couple of people we can see, but if I tell you that there are at least 30 to 40 people in this slide, you will have to really see the YouTube video again to understand where these all 30, 40 people are moving. Generally, the teams would get distributed into like operational recce team or a stop team or a raid team kind of a thing. All they will be occupying the heights, and they will look at either the village, or if it is the base, they will look at the base. They will do the recce for 2 to 3 days, 2 days to 3 days, to understand what kind of movement, how many people, what is the ammunition that they are carrying, to understand their capabilities. And once they understand the capabilities, there would be a raid team that would go inside and do the basic engagement with them. Now this engagement could vary from tactic to tactic, but then once the raid is done, if it is a administrative base, now this, for example, this is an administrative base where we had got a lot of food grains, I mean food material, and this base was probably in the jungles, maybe around 2 days of walk. So there was no point in carrying all this back. And then if there is something in terms of ammunition or weapons, that could be carried back for sure. But whatever is not carryable is probably put into a place and just burned off. This would typically end up in a debrief session when we come back to the base, and at the end of it, we will do a kind of a lessons learned thing, and what was good, what was not good, how we could have done it better. And if you see most of the projects that happen in our corporate world, or even in our regular world, a lot of inspiration has been drawn from the armed forces, where they do a typical debrief session to understand what was the lessons learned. And of course, a lot of management lessons have come from the armed forces. So I will take you through the life and lifestyle of a soldier. Now this is typical. This is what I was before joining the armed forces. I had a regular childhood. Like I did my schooling and college in Kalyan. Major part of it was in Kalyan. I did some part of my school in Ghatkopar also, but major part I did in Kalyan. Till the time I did my school and college, I was probably an average student. So I seldom got distinctions. I got a first class most of the times, and I was also an average student in the college. The major influence was the family influence that I got. If you see, my father was interested in these kind of things. So he 59, 60, 61, around that, where he was in NCC and he was a junior under officer in the Jai Hind College. Also, he did some trainings in the rifle shooting at very older age. And then my mother, uh, she also did some trainings in rifle shooting. My elder sister, she did NCC from Ruia College. She was a junior under officer also. And she went on to win a lot of gold medals in the national level competitions in .22 rifle prone position shooting. So she is a national kind of a gold medal winner multiple times. Uh, and this all started when she was just in school. She did the NCC junior division, and then she did the senior division, wherein she went to BLC camps and a lot of other camps that she did. And subsequently, she did professional tournaments also, as a in terms of rifle shooting. So I also did my NCC from Birla College, and I think these are the two events that shifted things for me. I got the best cadet when I did my NCC from the Birla College, and this was this platoon is one of the biggest in India in terms of college strength. This had the biggest platoon, NCC platoon. And I also during one of the years of college, I got a Mr. Birla second runners up. I think these were two basic boosters which motivated me to think about careers in leadership. And I got to know more about the armed forces life when I used to interact with the instructor staff who used to guide me what is the life that they have seen. So I did my graduation, and then I gave the UPSC exams for CDS, Combined Defense Services. Although I had my NCC CCERT B grade, which is which you can qualify for your armed forces exams even without giving a written exam. Still, I gave the written exam. I passed this, so I did not take the quota for NCC. I went as a regular gentleman cadet, and not the NCC entry into the armed forces. So there are various ways in which you can go. You can go post 12th grade. You can go as a NCC cadet, graduate entry. So I was one of the graduate entries. So I took the short service commission. I could have also taken the permanent commission route, which is a direct entry from Indian Military Academy. This training was in Chennai. It's called the Officers Training Academy, and so we undergo a rigorous training. Officers Training Academy is supposed to be one of the toughest in the world because we are supposed to take the training to become a regular officer within 10 months or 11 months of time. So it is a really rigorous training that we undergo. A lot of obstacle training courses, as well as weapon training, as well as swimming. So there are multiple activities that are done. So swimming in the academy is taught, and swimming is not only taught in swimming pools, in various other fashions that we have to undergo this training. A lot of games. These are the sports are given a lot of importance, and one thing very important is academics is given a lot of importance there. So we need to clear all the academics, only then we can get commissioned. So post the training, I got commissioned. So I had opted for a parachute regiment, which is airborne parachute regiment. So this means that I had to undergo another 3 months of probation in that unit, which is a airborne parachute regiment, while getting commissioned. But I could not clear the probation. So I returned back to my parent unit, which was the infantry. I went to I went to 27th Madras, the Madras regiment, and there I got a lot of chance to participate in various operations. So and each of the field was a very good experience for me, enriching experience as well as a learning experience for me. This was Operation Parakram. I think it was 2002 and some part of 2003, where it was almost warlike situation on the Western Front with Pakistan. this is a very interesting photo, because this is the kind of terrain that you would be posted. And if you can see a small construction here, this would become your bunker where you could be staying. So you are surrounded with nothing, but you have a small bunker where you would stay, and you would be around the border. Then I also went into Operation All Clear, which is operation we did with Bhutanese army, Royal Bhutanese Army. It was in the northeastern region, Assam. It is a very well documented operation, collaborated between Indian Armed Forces as well as the Royal Bhutanese Army. So we regularly used to go into their terrain. They would come to our. So it's a kind of a porous border. So somebody who used to cross the border would get caught, but there was other activities like doing. Maintaining a transit camp for the people who were traveling, and interacting with them. So this operation, I think, went on for around 6 to 8 months. Then we went I also got a chance for operating in Operation Hifazat, which is typically around Manipur. A lot of other places also, but I was around Manipur for a long time. A lot of liberated zones were around, and we cleared a lot of them. I mean, this is a well documented phase in Manipur, which is actually there in many military history books, and people still remember that phase where if somebody would say that if you are operating in Sajik Tampak, it is a really tough situation. Many military history books cover it. Some of them also call it as the Battle of Sajik Tampak. It was a low intensity conflict. We stayed there for a long time. Many a times, whenever we used to go for the ops, we used to sleep above the clouds. Similarly, taking that forward, we also got a chance to operate in high altitude areas. This was probably around 15,000 to 18,000 feet high in the Arunachal sector, facing Tibet. The post was a air maintained post. So the lock-in that we are talking about these days, that we have to stay inside, and we cannot, I mean, having all the facilities like mobile phone, and you can order food from outside if you want. You can still socialize with people. We have stayed there for months without the contact to the outside world. I mean, the section, like 10 people, 12 people would stay in that area, and nothing but snow around. Even the food would come to us in these parachutes. So there's a drop zone which would be used to supply us. And it was a very nice phase, which you after a certain time you start enjoying the calmness around. So how is it after coming out from the field? In the peace, the armed forces provide you very nice lifestyle. A lot of sports and games you can play around. I mean, that's what you do while you're in peace station. Either you train your troops, or you just play and games and sports with them, so that you keep yourself fit. There is a lot of entertainment also. This was a band. I sometimes I used to play the guitars there, lead guitars. And there's a lot of family time. So if you have a family, and if you're in the peace tenure, you can bring your family and you'll get all sorts of facilities. Now we come to the part where what is there for you after you pass out from the armed forces. So I am a short service commissioned officer. I did 5 years. Now these days people do 10 years minimum, and during my time it was 5 years minimum. What do the people do? So being from the armed forces, you get chance to go to IIMs and various other institutes to do your further studies. I did my postgraduate course from NMIMS. A lot of people do it from IIT, IIMs, various IIMs, MDI, XLRIs, and institutes like that. Post that, this was my journey, but most of the ex-armed forces officer would get this kind of a journey. I moved from a few companies here and there, but Mahindra, Deutsche Bank, some of the names, PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the big fours. And finally, I thought, I mean, why not get into a entrepreneurial venture? So some things on this line, I will not call it fully entrepreneurial, but on these lines is what I am currently looking at. I have been really badly hit by the Corona crisis, because small businesses are really not doing. I mean, it's a very difficult phase for them. But it's a good learning to be in these kind of environments. This is what you get. Some of the good projects that I have done, I mean, I'm really happy that I could do, especially the Turkish Football Federation project, where I got a chance to design the security for 31 Turkish stadia, and also some large airports and some stock exchanges and a few other places. Good marquee projects. Yeah, this is one of the times where I was doing the security upgradation design. On a personal front, of course, like ma'am mentioned, Shaurya Kiran NGO, we've set it up for armed forces personnel in any way that we can help them. There's a whole lot of people involved in it. I am one of the members working for that NGO. But I also am active in the industry regionally and nationally. For example, Security Consultants Association, I have been the joint secretary for a long time. I still continue to be associated with them. American Society for Industrial Security, which is a renowned society globally. Also, I am now currently also associated with Fire and Security Association of India, Global Association for Corporate Services. I'm in all these associations. I'm in some of the leadership role. So this is the exposure that the armed forces lifestyle would give a person to be in a leadership role wherever they are. I've also realized that I have not contributed much in our KVO society, but if there is anything that I can do, I will be really, it will be my privilege to contribute to the KVO society especially. I'll take a moment to tell you about the Shaurya Kiran Foundation. It's a foundation. We have, in fact, last Rakhi festival, we Shaurya Kiran tied up with one of the trusts, and the Kachis trust, and we delivered Rakhis to the people serving in field areas, maybe around 600 of them. And there are a lot of other activities that happen in Shaurya Kiran. So in case somebody would want to contribute to the armed forces, this is the place. Please let me know. There are many avenues in which we can contribute. Monetary, non-monetary, especially non-monetary, because giving of time for this kind of institutes helps a lot. This is the vision mission for Shaurya Kiran. I also participated in the Fear Factor Khatron Ke Khiladi, which was the first season. Meghna Naidu was my partner in that, and a whole lot of other celebrities like Yana Gupta and Tupul Tapo Chatterjee and Pooja Bedi and Sonali Kulkarni and all of them. So we, that was, I think, the Armed Forces Special first level. I was one of the persons qualified there. On a personal life, I also like to do a lot of experiential travel. So last year I had been to one of the farms. So I worked there for maybe 15 days, 2 weeks or so, before moving on to the backpack tour, exploring various countries. And now my wife also travels along with me. We do some good backpack tours, and that is how we enjoy the personal life. Special mention to Mittal, because she has been a very good support for me. I am able to do most of the things I'm able to do because of her support. My family has been a really strong support for me in doing whatever endeavors that I have. I would like to stop here, ma'am. Over to you.
It was so encouraging and so inspirational. Your talk was. It is beyond our imagination also. And it is such an honor to have you talk about the nation and the security and the protection of our nation on the day of a day like 2nd October, which is one of the very important day on the 51st Jayanti, the birth celebration of Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi. I think we've chosen the right personality today. We are very, very happy, and you have got so many values imbibed from such great personalities. And before I move on, I'd just like to mention a few messages that have come to you from our co-jury, Geeta Castellino, where she's appreciated, of course, the initiative. Professor Asha Gala, who is very happy to see you, otherwise as a co-jury, but also here, sharing your journey of the army. Sanjay Bhai has a question. Sanjay Bhai is the donor trustee of this organization. His question is, what would be your guidance to school students who are planning to join the army based on the documentary that they have seen?
See, I think one of the most important thing is perseverance. We have to be patient, and we have to keep following this, whatever we are doing. So the armed forces give you a lot of chances, right from 17 years of age to 25 years of age. And in few cases, maybe beyond that also, you keep getting chances to join armed forces in various capacities. I have seen a lot of people who try once or twice and then they do not try, and then they go because they can see a career for themselves as a chartered accountant or as an engineer who can actually move out of India and get settled in in some other country. So they see that easily available, and this perseverance is not there. So one thing I would strongly suggest is that whatever your endeavors are, if you really want to do this, of course, you need to have your basics in place to get into the army. But if you really want to do this, perseverance is one thing. Please keep trying. Please keep studying. Please keep taking, guidance through various mediums for clearing these exams. Do NCC. NCC helps you to give an edge in these kind of things. You actually eliminate one exam totally. If you are an NCC certificate B grade holder. So that's what I would suggest. Have perseverance and be patient.
Then there is another question from Sanjay Bhai. Which are the schools that the children need to join Air Force? Any specific schools?
There are many schools. Like the Army Public School, the Sainik schools, the military schools. A lot of them are available. Do we want to send our children there? They are really good schools. Many of, especially like Sainik School near Nagpur, is one of the best actually. And it's spread over acres. They provide a lifestyle of armed forces guy even before you complete your school education. So these are some of the schools where you can send. Once you clear your NDA exams, then you go into the NDA, and then you are allowed to choose one of the streams like the Army, Navy, Air Force, depending on your eyesight and how do you clear your PABT tests and all. That's a later part. First is to clear that exam and go into the NDA or Air Force Academy.
Thank you so much. Lax Kenya, who is also the trustee of this organization, sends you a message that you had great slides. The surveillance slides were really great. Even Advocate Varsha Manek, who is our co-jury, has also congratulated you for the very, very good presentation that you made. And of course, the insight of this organization. Lax Kenya had a suggestion for you to speak in Kutchi or Gujarati, but I think there are many of them who are attending who may not be conversant, but little Hindi you can. Hindi would be conversant for anybody.
I am most comfortable in Kutchi.
Okay. Lax Kenya has a question. Are the students' camps and training going on in the COVID times also?
The training is going on, of course. The training still is going on in the COVID times, but with all the precautions taken. I mean, the training which is in the training academies is going on with the precautions. But if we are talking about the trainings for getting trained to give the exams or getting trained to go and appear in the exams, they are not happening currently.
Professor Asha Gala has asked, as NCC certificate, the C certificate, helped you in motivation, do you think that NCC and NSS be made compulsory in main course of curriculum at undergraduate level?
In fact, it's a very interesting journey. I started my NCC as kind of an undergrad. So I did my NCC 11th, 12th and FY, first year of college, 11th, 12th and FY. People generally do in the, FY, SY and TY is when they do their NCC. I did it in my 11th standard, FYJC, SYJC and FY BCom. That's where I did. So after doing my NCC and completing in the first year of commerce, I had 2 more years. So I did my NSS. So I did NSS in the SY BCom and TY BCom. So I can actually comment on both the aspects, and it should be made compulsory if possible, because it gives you a very good posture and a texture to your life. I mean, discipline is imbibed. You will start respecting what others are saying. Some of the things you will start doing even without questioning why it needs to be done, because you know that it is good for you. All these things get imbibed if you do NCC or NSS. NSS is also an excellent organization. We need to do that.
So thank you for your question, Professor Asha Gala. She also salutes you for everything that you have done so far. Dinesh Gala, who's also part of this organization. So you opted for CDSE entry, although holding NCC certificate. So would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, I see. That's what I will say. There are multiple entries available, and you have to choose, keep choosing and keep applying. So there is this NCC entry. You can go directly. So I thought, let me just try this CDS entry also. If not, I would have tried NCC entry. Then I would have tried some other short service in Navy or something, wherever it is possible with my commerce degree. Generally, people with a science degree would do really well in multiple exams. And it was kind of easy for me to crack that exam, because when I had learned about how people give the exams and all, so I thought, why not go into that? So I had both the choices if I want. I could utilize both of them. But luckily I got through in the first attempt only. So I didn't have to use the the NCC C certificate, B grade certificate to get in.
Babu, I think maybe your friend has said that you summed up very well and really wished you all the best. Jinkal Cheda also says, great job. Atharva asks you, can you give guidance about joining NDA? Atharva Ketle has asked, can you guide about joining NDA?
So Babu is my course mate and we have trained together. So he's Colonel M. Babu. And he has his own set of stories. So if you have him here, he will have probably, like I can speak for half an hour, he can speak for probably 6 hours with all stories. He's in the Mahar regiment. Thank you so much, Babu. We were in the same company at some point in time while getting trained. Hardcore infantryman.
We are very fortunate to have Colonel also online right now.
Correct, Colonel M. Babu. And in terms of joining NDA, see the training needs to start, or the understanding of the exams needs to start while you're in maybe around 9th, 10th. So if you plan to go into the armed forces, it's always better to take science and then go into the NDA, which is post 12th. So after 17 and a half years, you can join the NDA, and then they get you do the degree for 3 years in NDA, and then you move to the IMA. So I would suggest that if I don't know what age is Atharva in, but if he is around 9th or 10th or maybe in 11th, he needs to start preparing for it right now. Look at what are the things that he needs, especially general knowledge and current affairs. Maths will help him a lot, and physically. So you need to get trained physically every day from now. it is always better to be physically trained while you appear for the exam.
Uh, Dinesh Gala says, what benefit did you get by joining through CDSE, or what disadvantage would you have been there had you joined the NCC entry?
There is no benefit, or there is no desire. So once you reach the academy, there is no, in fact, I don't even know my batchmates who are NCC entry or a regular entry till the time somebody says that I'm an NCC entry. It's just a medium to get inside. So there is no advantage or no disadvantage. Only advantage technical people would get is SSC NT, which is my entry, which is like a short service commission non-technical. SSCT, which is short service commission technical, people would get 2 years of antedate seniority. That means, you get 2 years of seniority after a certain service that you put in. That's a very good thing if you are an engineer or something. I am sure Jankana is a SSC technical entry. And just to mention about Jankana here, Jankana was the battalion cadet adjutant when she was in the academy. That is one very big appointment. She also excelled while she was doing her rest of the courses. She went to the Army Adventure Wing for some time. She also has done her posting in UN when the Syrian operations were at peak. She's done that. Yes. So she's one of the brilliant officers currently. And Mr. Dinesh Gala is, I believe, the father of Hiten Gala, who's a fighter pilot. And he was the sword of honor for his batch, like the first in the order of merit. He's doing extremely well. He's a fighter pilot. I think he's flying one of the MiGs, if I'm not mistaken. And he has one more Kachi with him. I don't remember the name. But what I'm trying to say is that whoever has gone till now from our community has done exceedingly well. So we should look at why not more of us.
There is a question from Kinnari Veera. What should we choose, arts, commerce, or science to join? I think you just answered
it. No, science is always preferred, but arts, commerce will not make any difference. I mean, you can still get in with your graduate degree. It is just called SSC non-technical, or maybe, permanent commission also non-technical.
Asha Gala has commented that Dr. Radhika Lobo would be happy to hear this. I think the answer that you gave about the NSS and NCC and all that.
Dr. Radhika Lobo is, is my, I don't know how Asha ma'am knows about her, but she is very inspirational for me. When I was doing my college, she was my economics professor. So I learned a lot of economics, but what she has also taught me about a lot of life lessons. I still, I'm really inspired by Dr. Radhika Lobo.
So probably she meant that she narrated your teacher, that probably she would be happy to see you here.
Yeah, she would be really happy. And I am happy that she's still around guiding me. She's not around, of course, in Mumbai. She's moved to Bangalore, but she still guides. In fact, I'm doing the economics of disaster management because economics, I started learning economics from her, and it was a very nice way of explaining economics. I still am, even correlating disaster management with economics, right?
And Atharva, I think, was in 11th standard, the one who had the question.
This is the best time for him to get himself and understand what are the nuances of passing the exams.
Yeah, and I think you were mentioning about one more, and I think you were mentioning about Nayan Bawa.
Nayan Bawa, yes. He's a course mate of Hiten Gala.
Hiten Gala. I think they were colleagues somewhere.
Nayan flies Hepters, one of the Hepter, if I'm not mistaken. Hiten flies aircraft, plane.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing really. These guys are rocking the stage.
Yeah, actually, we're very, very happy about them also. I have my question. That these 5 years, did you have a family life at that time? Meaning your wife and your children or anything at that time?
I was not married.
You were single. Okay.
In fact, I remember one of the times when I had come back on leave, 20 days of leave, and my unit was in the thick of ops. So I was not comfortable being here when the unit was in the thick of operations. I myself cancelled 10 days of leave. I flew back from here to Manipur just to be in the part of the battalion operations, so that I'm with the battalion when they are into operations. So no family. I mean, because there was I was not married or things like that. I was purely into the operations.
So you already have a child. You have a son, I think, right? Am I right? So how do you motivate his mind and train his mind towards it? Do you think you will also love if he is also into the army?
I would love if he's into the army, but it is his choice if he wants to
Yeah,
go. So what I've done is, I don't know if any friend of mine is seeing this right now live, and if you see the videos that I keep posting of him, people have nicknamed him Spider-Man already. He's the junior, and he's the Spider-Man because he climbs the walls and he goes any. I mean, he can climb a very a regular wall, ghar ka diwal. He can just climb it. He does a lot of other acrobatic things and all, but nothing that I have thought of. I've just given him the tools and equipment. He does it all by himself. I would love if he goes to
yeah. So of course I would like to also get more information as to how do you train his mind towards the army, because ultimately parenting is also going to impact upon. So just two three tips if you can give. What do you do additionally so that his mind blows towards the nation?
So nothing I say. I mean, he's too young to understand nation and things like that. So as of now, the core I'm okay from a parenting perspective. Core things is
I think I'll just give you a message. Colonel Babu has said his son is already half in the army. So thank you, Colonel, for this message. I think Purvesh is hesitating to say that, but you said it very rightly. So what are those few things that you do to mold his mind towards it?
Yeah. So I'm saying that I'm not even talking to him about the armed forces at all.
Yeah.
Currently, I think the formative years, right? And I'm talking parenting right now. The formative years, the only things that we are looking at is the core needs to be. I mean, the principles need to be in place, like honesty, integrity, discipline.
Basically, the
Three things.
values. Looking at
Values.
the values. Yeah.
These three things, if they are in place, subsequently he will grow up and he will see what is good, what is bad. Maybe at some point in time when he's in college and all, then there can be a lot of exposure that can be given to him, or school maybe. But as of now, I think he just needs to be a good human being for the next few years, learn to be a good human being, and then we will see how to guide him into.
It was really nice to hear. Atharva has again asked a question. It is said that NDA exams are hardest exams. What is your review on this?
NDA, going statistically, right? NDA may not be the. I mean, I will say that the civil services exams are the hardest, toughest to crack, because only a minuscule of. When I say minuscule, even armed forces, I mean the NDA exam will be a minuscule part only, but still lesser number of people get qualified in the civil services exam than this thing. I think our ratio would be 0.1% would qualify in armed forces or something like that. That is the ratio that people appear and get qualified, around somewhere like that. But it is difficult, but it is not unachievable. That's what I want to say. Just keep. That's where otherwise you need to understand is that all the statistics will come, and you may fail twice or thrice or 4 times, but perseverance is the thing. You keep preparing for it, go again, keep preparing, and then see what you did not do well there, come back and prepare yourself, and then go again if you really want to get it. That's my suggestion.
That's very nice. Dinesh Gala has given his last message. Thank you very much, Captain Purvesh, for sharing and having a wonderful conduct of the seminar. Thank you, Dinesh Bhai. I think you've been very generous to thank Matushri Manibai. I would just like to say one thing, Captain Purvesh. This is my last few words for you. You have already said that you would like to mentor students, you would like to support the KVO community in some way or the other. And my last question, this is before we wind up. it is said that once you are out in the armed forces, and where you are, what you are doing, is very difficult to predict the situation in which you will be. What about the Jain principles of non-violence, especially with respect to food? Or were you able to manage that over there?
Okay, this is a good incident that I will share, and this is my mother. So if you know my mother, she is the most religious lady, and she was a BAME. She was a teacher in Pachala.
Yeah.
So she knows a lot about religion, and she is hardcore religion person. I think since ages she's been doing Choviyar and a lot. I mean, no Kandmul and things like that. So when I was appearing for my exams, I had lost my father. My mother was alone. My sisters were married, all of them. So there was no other thing. Uh, so my mother, once she got to know that I'm appearing for these exams and all, right, I mean, she is the one who will say non-violent. I'm still now, if you see, I really look non-violent as of now also. She is a preacher of non-violence and things like that. But when I asked her, can I go, I'm now selected, I'll get selected, can I go and join the armed forces? So this is one, I mean, really inspirational. She said that even Mahavir Swami was a Kshatriya.
Yeah.
So
By birth.
if you, yeah, by birth he was a Kshatriya. If you're protecting your motherland, you can, there's no violence in that. As Jains, we have to protect. It's our duty to protect our motherland. And somehow people assume that non-violence means no violence at all. Protecting our motherland is a duty which we have to do.
No. My question is that were you able to find?
Did
you have to consume anything? Okay.
I was coming to that only. I just wanted to share this incident because a lot of parents say that we are non-violent. Why should we go there, right? I just wanted to address this point that we are non-violent, but even Mahavir Swami was a Kshatriya at some point in time. It is very easy to manage in the armed forces. You will get Jain veg food, sorry, not Jain, but veg food, all the places. There are a lot of Brahmins in the armed forces. So they also manage. I mean, as good as us, just that you may not be able to get the Kandmul without Kandmul food. It can be a bit difficult over there. But Jain food, veg food is really easy. You can survive. And I have stayed in air maintained posts for months together with only 4 types of food variety available. You can manage, you can survive. Not an issue at all.
Thank you very much. I think your journey is so inspirational. You're so much imbibed with so many values because of the 5 years of army experience and the pre-training before that. I think a lot of it has contributed towards what you are today. And I think we need many more people into the army. We need many more people like Captain Purvesh and Colonel Babu. We definitely need those kind of soldiers who are bent towards the country, towards securing the country, protecting the country. And we are really, as a KVO community, really proud of you, Purvesh. I don't think it's a very easy journey, although perseverance is what can achieve and take you there. But I can definitely vouch one thing, that Purvesh, after having the grind of the army, I think you can sustain in any situation, and you can sustain yourself and your family and the society in any situation, and you can still have a very, very bright future in profession. That's what you've shown the journey. And we're very happy to see that one slide where you work with a PWC in the end, and now today you're thinking of your own entrepreneurship, your own NGO. We really wish you all the best for that. And thank you very much for the journey that you shared with us. Thank you
so much, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. You have always been generous that ways. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I have not been, I really didn't know how to contribute for the KVO, but I have been contributing to the society in other forums. If there is something that I can do for
we'll
KVO,
definitely trap you in something. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.